Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing an investigation on the process of photosynthesis. So remember from the carbon cycle, photosynthesis is the process in which plants are able to make their own food using carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So to begin this investigation, I have two large glass jars. I have two candles that have not been used and a plant. All right, so in a moment, I'm going to light each candle and cover each candle with a jar, except one jar is going to include this plant. So these are the materials that we're going to use today. And then before we get started, I want to review what a dependent and independent variable is. So again, a variable is anything we're trying to measure. So does anybody know what a dependent variable or an independent variable is in an experiment? Does anybody remember this? So the dependent variable is the variable that depends on other factors. So exactly how it sounds, dependent variable, it depends on other factors. So in an experiment, this is the variable that we will not change. In fact, we want this variable to remain as constant as possible so that we can measure the effect of the independent variable. And the independent variable is the variable that is changed in an experiment so that we can measure the effect. So just to give you an easy example, so let's say that you're doing chores to earn some money. You get $3 for each chore that you do. So the independent variable is the number of chores that you choose to do. You have control over this variable because you can change it. The dependent variable is the amount of money that you make because this variable depends on the independent variable, which is the number of chores that you do. Okay, so take a moment and just think about, in this experiment, what the dependent variable would be and what the independent variable would be. So in this experiment, the dependent variable is going to be the flame, okay? This is the variable, this is going to be the same for each jar. And then the independent variable, which is the one factor that I'm changing, is the presence of the plant. Okay, so one jar is going to have the presence of the plant, the other jar will not. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and light each candle first. All right, and I'm going to have my assistant here. We're going to cover. So before we cover the jars, I want you to go ahead and open up the PORE document, the PORE document, and we're going to fill out that first row on the second column. So on the right, it should say predict, and I want you guys to go ahead and make a prediction. So what do you think will happen when I put the jar over the candle with the plant? And then what do you think will happen when I put the jar just over the candle without the plant? So go ahead and take a few minutes, pause the video, make a prediction. After your prediction, in the observe box on the right, I want you to think about what data would be important to record for this experiment. So what should we record? All right, so we got our candles lit. Now we are going to place the jars over candles. Okay. We'll wait and see what happens. All right, it looks like they're starting to get a little lower. Excuse dog sounds in the back. It's just part of life. All right, they're both getting very, very low. They're still both going though. All right, and then the one with no plant has gone out. The one with the plant is still going. It's pretty low though. Hope you guys can see that on the video. And that one just went out. All right. So I'm going to stop the video. Now I want you guys to go to the reflect and explain portion. If you're on Zoom, we're going to go into breakout rooms and we're going to work on the reflect and then the explain portion of our worksheet.